Good morning. Today I'm going to talk to you about plane hygiene, and I'm going to share with you my top 10 tips on how you can avoid becoming sick on the plane. It is a common thing becoming sick on the plane, or a study conducted by the Wall Street Journal found that you are 20% more likely to become sick on the plane than what you are on the ground. So it's really important that we all practice safe hygiene on a plane, especially given what's going on with the coronavirus. I know it's in everyone's minds, especially those that have got travel booked. So let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to avoid touching the in-flight magazine, the blankets and pillows that are on a plane, and the seat back pocket. So the magazines are not washed. They are touched by everyone, and germs can last up to 9 days on a surface. So if possible, don't touch these. Next is blankets and pillows. If they come in a sealed plastic bag, by all means, go for it and use them. But if they don't, you don't know when they were washed last and what people were using them for, so I would definitely not be touching these. And the seat back pocket, I actually get chills when I think about how disgusting they are. They are used by people to store dirty tissues, dirty wipes. People put their bare feet on them to rest on. It's just not a hygienic place to be storing things and to be touching. If you can, use a backpack or a handbag underneath the seat and put everything in there. Or even just line the seat back pocket with a plastic bag. Just don't touch it if you can. Tip number 2 is to sip water regularly throughout your flight. So obviously if you're keeping hydrated, it's going to help with your immune system, and you're going to avoid the dehydrating effects of air travel. So just keep sipping water. Don't go overboard though, because next I'm going to tell you to avoid using the bathroom. Obviously on a short haul flight, this might not be a problem, and on a long haul flight, it's a little bit more challenging given at some stage you're probably going to need to use the bathroom. So when you are in there, remember it's a confined space. People are in there sneezing, coughing, obviously going to the toilet. You don't know whether they're washing their hands and you don't know what's in there. So try and use a paper towel to touch all the surfaces. Make sure you wash your hands. Line the toilet with toilet paper before you sit on it. And I always use a paper towel to open the latch when I'm on my way out after I've washed my hands. And then when I get back to the seat, hand sanitizer again, just to be safe. Really important. Tip number 4 is to carry on disinfectant wipes and to thoroughly disinfect your space. So your space includes your seat, your seat belt, your armrests, the overhead vent, and most importantly, your tray table. A study conducted by Travel Math found that the tray table has 8 times more germs than the toilet flush button. Gross, right? So disinfect this space as much as you can. Considering that we eat from there, it's so important that this is cleaned or avoided. Kids, their food will drop onto the tray and they'll just eat it. Toys will touch the tray and they put it in their mouths. It's just, it's really important that we keep this space clean. Use a travel tray, use a placemat, whatever you can. Just try and keep in mind how dirty a tray table is. Next, keeping your hands clean. So we're all being told how important this is at the moment, to carry hand sanitizer and to wash our hands with warm water and soap and to wash for 20 seconds. If you've got no germs on your hands, then you're not going to be able to carry them to your mouth, nose and eyes, which is the entry point for viruses. So keep them clean. I tell my kids, sing happy birthday. Warm water, soap, happy birthday to you. 20 seconds it goes for, with or without the hip hooray at the end, and then they can dry them. So if you're getting them in the habit of doing that, then that's really good. Obviously you want to wash your hands before you're eating, and if you're at home, obviously after they go to the toilet, after they've touched the pets, after they've been outside, just as often as possible. And if you're getting them in the habit of doing it at home, then they'll obviously more likely do it while they're away. Also, tip number 6, it's really important to get some rest on the plane. You want to recharge your system, and we all know that when we run down, we're more likely to catch things. So keep rested, whether that means listening to relaxing music, watching a movie, having on an eye mask, whatever it is that's going to help you rest. Invest in this and look after yourself on the plane. Tip number 7 is to load up on vitamins and immune boosters prior to your trip. So about 2 weeks before I travel with my kids, I'm loading them with immune boosters, which helps them to combat anything that they might catch and that they might be exposed to. So you can get these from the pharmacy, you can ask your doctor about it, but that's something that I definitely do. And tip number 8 is nasal spray or a nasal mist. So keeping your nose from drying is really important, and also they wash away any airborne pathogens as well. You can also use a face mist, and you can breathe through like a damp face washer, and this is going to help preventing the drying. Tip number 9 is to use the overhead vent. We're all guilty of turning this off because it's cold or it's noisy, but it's really important that we all keep the air flowing on the airplane. If anything, you can tilt it so that it's facing your lap, and that way it's moving the air away from your face and, like I said, keeping the air flowing on the plane. Take a cardigan if you get cold, or take a blanket, but just do not turn off those overhead vents. And then lastly, it's, if possible, and I know it's not always possible, but choose a window seat. The aisle seats are the most exposed to people coming up and down the aisles, sneezing, coughing. Obviously, you're more protected in the window seat. A lot of us are traveling with friends and family, and so someone's going to have to sit on the aisle. Usually that's me, and my kids sleep or sit in the window seat and middle seat. That's to keep them locked in as well. But yeah, also obviously to avoid the germs. If I'm sleeping, I'll try and always sort of be away, have my head away from the aisle as well. If you want to wear a mask, that's obviously a personal thing. Probably can't hurt if you're sleeping, especially. Obviously, you're going to have to take it off when you're eating and drinking, but that's something you could look into as well. I hope that these tips have been helpful for you, and that you feel okay about your trip coming up. It is a scary time for everyone, and I know there's lots of hype and fear, but if we all practice safe hygiene, then we're all helping one another to not become sick and to not be exposed to this virus or any other virus that's out there. So enjoy your travels and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will speak to you soon.